Greetings and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back in another recording. During my previous experience as an English teacher, I have noticed that the majority of learners of English struggle with transitions, and I often notice that this topic slips under the rug when it comes to addressing the major concerns of people who struggle to be understood by native speakers or by non-native speakers. The reason is, according to my experience, is lack of good transitions. Transitions are defined as grammatical tools that indicate that you're moving from one topic to another, or contradicting the previous topic that you mentioned with the one that comes after, or you're building constructively on the topic that you have already paved the way to introduce. There are major components of English language, and understanding them is going to smooth out your speech in English. You need to understand and start to incorporate some of them. And I am saying some of them because you don't need to use all of them unless you want to brag about your academic English. And that is actually not necessary if you're trying to get your point across to other people. However, there's another marginal topic that I need to embed here. You need to listen to hear, not listen to respond. What do I mean by that? Most of really emotional, intelligent people listen to hear. What we mean by that, you need to listen to analyze what people say to understand their point of view. And this is a great indicator of your emotional intelligence and your social intelligence. So don't listen to respond to people. Don't listen to think of what am I going to say back to this person. Listen to hear what the other person is saying. Say, I hear you. However, let's dial back to our point number one, which is the major topic that I am addressing and talking about this morning or this evening, according to the time zone you're watching me from. And that is transitions in English. Generally speaking, transitions are defined as connection, a word, a phrase, a clause, or a sentence, or entire paragraph between two parts of a piece of writing or a piece of speech, contributing to cohesion. Transition words are used to link words or phrases or sentences. They help the reader or the listener to progress from one idea expressed by the author to the next idea. Thus, they help to build a coherent relationship within the text or within the speech. Generally speaking, there are major transitions in English, as I mentioned, but you don't need to use all of them. Now, the key feature of transitions is to keep your speech flowing, or to keep the flow of speech going on. Understanding the importance of transitions within speech can enable you to have your listeners or your audience listen more to what you're saying and what you're talking about. And a transition, as I said, is a phrase or sentence that indicates that the speaker is moving from one main point to another. Now, we can achieve this through certain grammatical transitions that might not have 100% meaning as a content, but they are just indicators or signposts that you're moving from one major topic in your speech to the next. And they are grammatically categorized in the following sequence. Let's have a look at some of them, and probably you can give me some examples of your transitions that you use in the comment section here. Please add any kind of comments in the sections that have these kind of transitions. Let's get started. The first one is addition. We can also use also, again, as well as besides, coupled with following this, further, furthermore, in addition, in the same way, additionally, likewise, moreover, similarly. And for sequence, which means that we are sequencing one event to the next, we have these kind of tools. Accordingly, as a result, consequently, for this reason, for this purpose, hence, otherwise, so, then, subsequently, therefore, thus, thereupon, and wherefore. But remember, these are not as common as the other ones that I mentioned in the beginning. For generalizing something, we say and use the following transition tools. As a rule, as usual, for the most part, generally speaking, ordinarily, and usually, or trying to elaborate and illustrate something, we use the following tools or transitions. Chiefly, especially, for instance, in particular, markedly, namely, particularly, including, specifically, such as. And for examples and illustrations, we use the following tools. For example, for instance, for one thing, as an illustration, illustrated with, as an example, and in this case, for emphasis, above all, chiefly, with attention to, especially, particularly, singularly, and for sequence, which is the most important one of them according to my experience, we use the following tools. At first of all, to begin with, in the first place, at the same time, for now, for the time being, the next step, in time, in turn, later on, meanwhile, next, then, soon, the meantime, later, while, earlier, simultaneously, afterward, in conclusion, with this in mind. And then for summarizing, we use the following tools. After all in all things considered, briefly, by and large, in any case, in any event, in brief, in conclusion, on the whole, in short, in summary, in the final analysis, in the long run, on balance, to sum up, to summarize, and finally. And for location, we use above, behind, by, near, throughout, across, below, down of, to the right, against, beneath, in back of, onto, and under. As you notice here, these are common transitions we use commonly in English to talk about moving our speech from one topic to the next without making our topic so chunky. So for your English to become less chunky, you need to incorporate these tools. I will add a list of them here as a link. You need to download this link and then print out the document and try to practice using them in your speech. As I mentioned, if you have any one of them that you want to share with me, please write it in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends and colleagues. Have a wonderful, lovely day, and in conclusion, I would say use more transitions. Have a wonderful day. مدرب اللغة وليد خالد.